All right. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
All right. First and foremost, we want to start off by giving our praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachak, Wadash.
All right, and double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone with well and taught us His truth through the Spirit. All right, and salutations to the Zaquanian Wa'akim across the four corners of the earth that's teaching His truth in sincerity, faith, and honesty, and also Shalom, Wahabatham, Wahabacharim, Shoyasha Allah, which is peace and love to the elect of Israel. All right, I'm my brother, I'm a fellow servant, call me Ashah, I got a brother.
This is Brother Ash.
Brother Mayum.
Right, we coming through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shemi Shai. All right, just a quick lesson, all right, just to feed the flock, because as the day approaches, all right, seeing the times that we are living in, all right, Yahweh Shai returning, all right, and it's evident that the Heavenly Father is sending His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, back. How do we know that? Because we're measuring the time diligently, man. All right, and it gives us a line or measuring of events that were current events that were happening in that time. All right, World War III being in the making, all right, all hell breaking loose. And me and the brothers was just talking about how the shit that's going on out there in Venezuela. All right, everything is really being made up for America's great destruction, man.
All right. Well, even with what's going on over there in France as well, that's a part of prophecy in the times of the end. Because what is that? Sirach? No, Second Ezra's. Can't remember where it says there's going to be uproars of the people.
It says Sirach 15 or 16.
15, yeah, kind of. So
in there.
That's the times that we're living in right now. We're living, like the brother quoted, I want to bring out real quick. This is 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. It says, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before.
So, what's that, 9?
9 and 1.
Yeah, well, keep reading all the way to 3, and that's the same chapter it says it in.
Yep. Then shalt thou understand, this is verse 2 of 2 Ezra chapter 9, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which He made. And we see that as men of the Lord, because we consider ourselves prophets of Yahweh Shemi Shai through faith and through the Spirit of Yahweh Shemi Shai. So we know, and we were thankful that we received the understanding of the signs of the Lord, to know that, okay, this is the measuring stick that we have, and we see those things happening, because that's the time that we're living in. All right, we're living in the time of the signs and wonders. Okay.
Yep. Kind of. And what we have the faith, which is above all. Mm-hmm. All right, to actually believe that this is coming to pass. Okay. And how do we know? What's the evidence? Our life. All right, us being living witnesses, man. All right, suffering for righteousness' sake, going through the tribulations and things that we're going through. We're going through this to be glorified with the Lord, bro.
And you said evidence, and faith is the evidence of things not seen.
That's right.
The hope, or maybe I got it.
I got it right here.
Okay, go ahead.
This is Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
And we haven't seen the prophecies of the end as far as missiles and everything, but the prophecies that we have seen, that at one point we didn't see happening, now we've seen them happening, so that just further increased our faith. You know, because we read about scriptures about uproars of the people, and when brothers might have came into this truth, you know, back in the day, you know, especially brothers that came into this truth back in 2007, back when the apostles were just teaching 80s, 90s. They weren't seeing,
or the early 2000s,
early 2000s. You know, you weren't really seeing the uproars of the people like you are now. So they knew about the scriptures, which is so they had the faith in there. Like, man, this is gonna come, and now they see that happening. So it was a further boost. But now we have other prophecies that still ain't coming, which now we're all being hopeful of, and they're gonna come to pass, which is gonna increase that faith.
Real quick, this is John chapter 20, verse 29. Yahushai saith unto them, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. Blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed.
You see, so there's going to be certain of us that at one point we don't believe, but there's going to be something that happens, because that example, Thomas saw Yahushua. That was the event.
Show me the holes in your hands.
So that was the event that Thomas came across.
Well, let me get it. Go up a couple verses. This is John 20 and 27. Then said he to Thomas. Let me see. Let me get the whole meat off the bones. This is verse 25. John 20 and 25. The other disciples therefore said unto him, We have seen the Lord. But he said unto them, meaning Thomas, but he said unto them, Except I shall see in his hands the print of the nails, and put my finger
Hey,
into the print.
So basically, he was like, yeah, well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
I want to put my finger in the holes that was punched in them.
Yeah, because basically that's what Jake's saying when he says, yeah, well, we'll see what happens.
But Thomas was still one of the 12.
He was.
Yeah.
So go ahead, finish that.
It says 25 again. John 20.
Because like you said, Thomas was still one of the 12. So with the brother saying that, what the brother's trying to say is that there's gonna be certain men in this truth that they're gonna have certain doubts about certain things
until they see it.
But that doesn't mean that they're not men of the Lord.
Until they see it.
Until they see it.
Until they see the power of the Lord.
Right. Yep. Because each brother has their own level of faith.
Yeah.
Each brother has their own level amount of faith. Basically,
because what you gotta remember, Thomas was one of the 12. He was there. He subbed with Yahushua. He went through. He was with Yahushua, right? But what there was men that never even met Yahushua and believed. Mm-hmm. So that's why he was going to say what he said.
Right, brother wanted to bring
real quick. Going back to we have two examples prominent in the scriptures. One with I forgot which apostle was. That was a disciple that was walking on the water. He believed.
Peter. The boisterous wind came.
He doubted and he fell.
The
which means the boisterous wind really means these
tribulations.
Today's times, these afflictions, the tribulation that we're going to go through.
And then when Yahushua told them to cast it, the first time they cast it in, they didn't have any fruit.
That's Peter again.
Peter and Andrew. That's
Yeah, and then the second time, they cast
it out? on the right hand side.
Yeah,
and they had all the fish.
That's right.
Because they were on the left side of the ship, and they're like,
he said, "Look at that,
he said, do it." He said from the shore. He said, "Hey, put it on that right side."
From the shore, he said that.
Because that's the guy. Hey, put it on the right. You gotta really like the apostles say. You gotta picture.
Visualize it.
Hey, put it. In the Hebrew,
cast your net on the right side.
He said, "Man, this nigga bugging. Let's do it anyway, though." So they threw it on the right side, and they couldn't even pull it. They were probably like, trying to struggle to pull it on shore, to the boat. But back in John 20:25, the other disciples therefore said unto him, "We have seen the Lord." But he said unto them, "Except I shall see in his hands the print of the nails, and put my finger into the print of the nails, and thrust my hand into his side, I will not believe." So he was like, "Man, I don't believe you. Y'all bugging."
He died. They didn't believe, bro. They couldn't fathom the resurrection of Yahushua.
Well, he couldn't. In his account, this account, he was like, "Nah, man, I got to see it." But verse 26, and after 8 days again, his disciples were with him. And after 8 days again, his disciples were within, and Thomas with them.
So it was 8 days later.
Yeah.
And now Thomas was with all.
He was with him now. Then came Yahushua, the doors being shut, and stood in the midst and said, "Shalom." It says "be unto you," but he said so. He didn't go through the door. He just manifested himself right there and said "Shalom" to them. And they were probably sitting at the table talking, and then they just a good show to watch is that AD on Netflix.
When he appeared to them,
he just appeared to them, and then
some of them turned around all shut.
Yeah. But so going on, verse 27, it says, "Then saith he to Thomas," he went straight to Thomas, man. "Reach hither thy finger, and behold my hands. Reach hither thy hand, and thrust it into my side, and be not faithless, but believing." And Thomas answered and said unto him, "My Lord and my power." Yahushua saith unto him, "Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. Blessed are they that have not seen, and yet have believed." So even though he's still part of the 12, but Yahushua had to get on him, man. He was like, "Man, you faithless." I'm not saying he was a nigga, but in modern times, man, he faceless nigga, man.
So that's why, the brother brought out that account, because there's going to be certain men in this truth that certain things are, you might not have the same amount of faith as the other brothers. You still believe that, okay, yeah, this is going to come, but when you actually see it, you might have, man, this it's not it yet. It's not coming out yet. This might not be the event that led up to it, man. Like, nah. But our brothers will tell you, "Brother, man, the chip is out there, man. The chip is out there."
Yeah, exactly.
But then it's going to take something like you see it firsthand, just like Thomas and Yahushua, to be like, "Oh, shit. Like, oh, man. Like, this is it, man." Like, and you see, that's where this comes in, and with that 2 Ezra 9:1, where it said, "Measure the time diligently," because we have this truth, and that's that measuring stick. that measuring stick, which has been written out through the scriptures, so that we can see that, okay, this is what's going to come next. This is what's going to come after that. This is what's going to come after that. So as we're going, like the Elder Ariala likes to say, as we go through this journey that is called the truth, we're seeing all these things happening, and we're filtering it through the scriptures.
Yeah.
But we all got to remember that we have a certain measure to exactly what we're doing.
Okay. Each man gives according to the Lord gave you according to your measure, man.
Yep.
And that's that lot. When you go into the word, the etymology of lot, it means a portion.
Mm-hmm.
So each man has his portion to what? To the building of the body outside.
But that doesn't that shouldn't discourage you though. Because
Right.
look, we got an example of one of the 12
Mm-hmm.
doubting. You know, he said, "Man, I got to see it to believe it."
Come on.
But he was still part of the 12.
Yep.
He's still going to be in the 12 thrones,
12
judging the
thrones,
12 tribes of
judging the
Israel,
12 tribes
man.
of Israel,
He was
yeah.
part of the 12.
Yep.
So he's still, you know, that you can't let that discourage you, man. Just because you got everybody, and that's why the Lord did that. You know, that's why the Lord said the Yahweh by Shem Yahushua said, "Look at that. But look, this is an example among the 12 that look he needed to see it to believe it. But look, that don't take away his
position, his lot,
exactly.
his portion.
Yeah, he still set up the position he's set up in.
And that's beautiful because that go all the way to the least. The scripture say the last of them shall be first.
The last shall be first,
even
yeah.
what's that? Zechariah 12 or 13. It says the least or the least of them shall be as David in that day, the feeble amongst them.
Oh, okay.
So even the least of the brother in the
yeah.
faith, because brothers going through all type of persecutions, sickness, disease. Brothers is feeble. One brother who I know off the spirit, Jim S. rebuked the tempter. All right, it's brothers like that who Yahweh Shemi outside is dealing with on a heavy level, man. You know what I mean?
I got that scripture.
Baba Kashar.
This is I believe this is it. This is Zechariah chapter 12 verse 8. It says, "In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David."
Kind, that word feeble means weak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right?
That's why the scriptures say, comfort the weak.
Kind.
You know, meaning what? Weak in faith, man.
Kind.
Mm-hmm.
Because he said faith. Yahweh called Thomas faithless, man. And he said that to multiple of the disciples.
Yeah.
Oh, how long shall I
faith.
be with you,
Yeah.
faithless? You know.
When they couldn't take the demon out of
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one person,
Yeah.
he called him ye of little faith.
Oh,
That's
ye
what
of
it
little
was.
faith.
Oh, you have little faith, kind.
And he was, and once again,
If
he
you
was
had
showing
faith
that
as
to
a
the
mustard seed, you
Come.
would have been able to
Yeah.
take this demon out.
He was showing that to the 12, so how
Hey,
much
but-
more us?
Hey, but check this out. The very next chapter, Thomas was with Peter, man.
Okay, go ahead.
Yep.
Well, John 21:1.
Come.
After these things, Yahushua showed himself again to the disciples at the Sea of Tiberias, and on the wise showed he himself. Then were together Simon Peter and Thomas, called Didymus, and Nathanael of Cana in Galilee, and the sons of Zebedee, and two other of his disciples. So
Which
meaning
the sons
that-
of Zebedee was
John and James.
Yep, John
so
and James.
so they didn't. Thomas didn't get discouraged because Yahushua rebuked his head. Because really, he was rebuked. Man, you faithless. You know, it doesn't tell you how the whole situation
Yeah.
went down. It just
It didn't
gives
tell
you
you
the main points.
expressions.
So you should,
Emphasis.
think about it. Yahushua was like, look at my hand. Put your hand, because he made him eat his own words. He was like, unless I see him and put my hand through it, I'm not gonna believe it. So Yahushua came back cold. He
So,
manifested there. Hey, look, here's my hand.
Come.
Here's the hole.
Go ahead, put it through my hand.
Come.
Put it through my hand, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And be ye not doubtless, he said.
Yeah.
He said, have faith. He was
Yeah.
showing, like, look, have faith. You know what I mean?
He said, be not faithless, but believe.
Come.
He said, what do you say? He said, and be not faithless, but believing. You know,
Mhm.
so.
And
Yeah,
that's,
so that's cold, man. That's cold.
at the end of the day, that's why the Lord told us, or referred to us as the little children, because little children,
They'll believe
a
in
little kid will believe anything,
Yeah.
man. A little child will have faith like a motherfucker that if this show is gonna come on this day, that this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
That little kid will believe that his parents are gonna be there every day, all day,
They
man.
believe in Santa Claus, so
Yeah, they believe-
and the Tooth Fairy.
And again, that's why our Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua told us to be as little children,
Yeah.
man, because
You gotta be born again.
that's why you have to be born again. These motherfuckers in these Christian churches, they tell you dunking your head in your
Yeah,
water,
the toilet
and then
water.
now you run. They don't tell you to change your ways. They don't tell you none of that. They just dunk your head. Now you baptized. No, you got to change your ways completely. You got to go back to that little child. You got to be reborn again, like the movie Matrix, man, and
Mhm.
come back and realize, okay, this is what it is, and this is how I'm supposed to be like that little child. You know, because a little child, they don't know no better but what they've been taught. And as men of the Lord, that's why we also have to be humble, because you gotta put yourself back at that little child, you know. Especially us young brothers that been in this truth just maybe a year, 2, 5, 4 years. We still young kids in this thing, you know. We still young things, but we still have to have that faith, man. That faith that Yahweh Shem Yahshua is going to bring that salvation to us, man. That salvation is to those that serve Him, you know, which is why we have to measure the time diligently and keep in the Lord's word, because if not, we going to be like the rest of these niggas in the world, man. We going to be destroyed, man. And there ain't no salvation for the wicked. There ain't no salvation for the sinners. There's only salvation for the servants of the Lord and those that believe in their word, like we went into earlier today. Those that believe on thee through thy word.
John 17.
You know, yep.
And there's another one that we read earlier. What is it? I think it was in Peter's. It was in Peter's. It was in Thessalonians.
Yeah, Thessalonians 2 and 13.
Yeah. And that's why we ourselves comfort each other in this ministry. Because nobody else will do that for us. We constantly comforting each other through the videos, and that's also edifying to the 1/3, those that was going to believe. Because they're like, damn, they're constantly going into that water. They're constantly going and drinking of that water.
Yep. And we were talking about it right before we started the video, I believe. Maybe we might have started talking about it after the video, but we're that one body, man. And even when your body's sick and there's a part of the body that might be hindered, it might be sick or something, the rest of the body's going to compensate for that. Yeah. Because even Paul spoke about that in Corinthians. If one suffers, the whole body suffers. Mm-hmm. So if one part of the body is wounded or weak in some aspect, the rest of the body's on that same level. Because you can't, the weakest link makes the whole chain.
Exactly.
So, you know, that's why even to the least amount of brother, we're all on the same level as one of our least, and that's why we have to stay humble and stay in that spirit. Like, I could be one of the least.
Because if you're sick, the whole body's sick, you know.
Exactly.
It's not necessarily that your foot is sick,
yeah.
But the foot ain't going nowhere without the body, so.
Exactly. Yep. Go ahead.
2 Ezra 16 and 74. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same.
Kind of real quick, those days of trouble is the day of the Lord.
You know, day of Jacob's trouble.
Yep, day of Jacob's trouble.
The Lord specifically named it the day of Jacob's trouble.
It's like
not the day of Edom's trouble. No. Edom, he's gonna get his judgment regardless, but Jacob gotta go through that because they gotta learn.
And really, it's 2/3.
Yeah, 2/3.
Because the elect is gonna be. We're gonna be. We're going into this at camp, I believe.
Yeah,
they're gonna make it through that.
Jake gonna be okay.
And it's a video I always through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, I always try to upload this like once or every month or every other month. It's a video, 1 minute, couple minutes long of Elder Apostle Gabar saying the judgment that's coming is not for us brothers, man. All right, it's for you wicked ass niggas. You gonna be in the concentration camps, man.
Even if we're gonna go through that,
that's gonna be the 34th.
The elect's gonna go through it, but what? They're gonna be good.
Yep.
That's gonna be that's gonna be purifying them. And really, we're going through the purification now. That's just gonna be, you know. So now we get to sit back because we already going through the worst. We forsook all. We've taken the low. We're not living a life like these people. So when the shit hits the fan, now we're gonna get to rejoice. Now we're gonna get to eat good. Yep. Now we're gonna get to sip yayan while you niggas are running around
in your destruction.
Exactly.
Job 5. I get it real quick.
But what? At the same time, you know, some men might go through concentration camps, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's that's for the 2/3, man. So they can suffer, man. They let them niggas get chopped into pieces and burned alive and you know, nothing new under the sun. They're gonna get burned alive, guillotines, you know, all these horrendous things that the Lord got coming through Esau. That's for the 2/3, man. The majority of the elect and the 1/3 is gonna be saved, man. He ain't gonna put the head disciples to death again. You know how many times they've been put to death through the prophets, you know, coming back in their steads, and now you know all the disciples, the 12 disciples, and plus Paul, they all got put to death, man.
Yep.
So you think the Lord gonna do that? And these are the most faithful men on the planet.
Heavy prophets too.
They're the heaviest prophets, man. Because what? They're gonna be judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So you think He gonna make them go through that same shit again? They be doing this all their lifetimes on you know, because there's levels to this thing, man. Like the apostles always say, there's levels to the thing. So the Lord ain't gonna do that to them, man. He gonna. It's time for salvation, man.
Exactly. That's what we have faith in, man. That's why we go out here confidently, man.
Yeah.
We go out there. We go out on the highways and byways, and we do these videos and constantly go up against Esau because we're setting up that banner or lifting up that banner against Babylon, man. All right. That's an act of treason in itself.
Yeah.
Doing what we're doing in
just like in Rome, ancient world, ancient. That's why Nero had to make the false flag burn Rome, and blame it on the Christians, so to say.
Yep. And see, now Esau, or the Lord, so like the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, he made it harder for Esau to go up against us because he made him pass
His
certain
own laws,
laws back in the day. So now
the
truth came out. Now we're protected by the law.
And that's how you know we at the end.
Yep.
He used the enemy to give us rights, so-called,
to
in this
give us
world.
that opportunity.
Yeah, give us the
that liberty.
That liberty. Yeah.
What is in Second Ezra? While they have loathed at my liberty.
Yeah, they got liberty.
Despise it because they have not liberty.
They have time to get right.
This is that grace.
Yeah, so the Lord set it up perfectly, man. He used the enemy to give us the right to go out there and cuss him out, man, and to give him his own prophecies, man, and give us his own condemnation, man. That's how you know we at the end, man. Because in Rome, they could put you to death for that. You came up against Rome, you was liable to get put to death. Yeah, you would get crucified.
Call her law.
You would get crucified, burned, stoned, whatever. Now we out there and they can't do a damn thing. Not the police can't do nothing. The regular Edomites can't do nothing. Our own people can't do nothing, man.
It's true, bro.
It's
time. That's the time we in. What's that? GMS Flood the Truth Chicago. It's no evidence that all omens, bro. Fast food. Yahweh Shai coming back.
That's another thing. We got the internet now.
Time, bro. You know, so that omen is showing. That omen of destruction for America is being shown. Why it is Babylon the Great? Why it is being all those kingdoms in one? The destruction is what we was talking about when it was watching the video. Oh damn. Hey, is Most High saving the best for last?
Yeah.
Because that's what's going on.
All the big stuff is happening now.
Kind of like one of the like Elder Apostle Gabar said. You mean to tell me all these great kingdoms that fell? Okay, Babylon, all these great Nimrod, bro, himself. Okay.
That was.
Come on, bro. Now we in Babylon.
That's the head of gold.
And that's what
because they were the best. One of the earliest best kingdoms.
That's what all these false idols go back to.
Yep.
All Tammuz, even going back to the fucking shit out there in New York, the Statue of Liberty. All these false idols go back to where it stemmed from. It's all about that. It's all about.
Again, that's why the head of gold is talking about Babylon, because
that's right, brother.
That's where because gold, you think about it, is the most precious metal out there, and that's why Babylon is considered that head of gold, because damn near every other kingdom after that took their standards from Babylon,
and that's that rest of that body. That's everything that was going to follow the head. That's why that's why Babylon. They just build it off of.
They just build off of it,
and that's why they ought to. Bro, that's crazy.
Because that's why it became less and less precious.
And that's why less and less precious. And that's why they was the feet mixed with clay. Because what do? The head give the head and the feet, they work 1-to-1. You know, because what?
The whole body will fall just if you miss one toe.
One toe. So
one toe, the whole body coming down.
That's right, brother. Hey, the spirit, beautiful.
And that's why America is we're now in the times of the 10 toes right now.
That's right, brother. That's right.
Because the NATO EU, which is those 10 toes,
they're breaking apart. They're not together.
Because
you can't mix iron and clay together.
Yeah. And that was the whole point of that being that downfall of the iron and the clay mixed together. It can't mix. So the Lord was showing it.
Yeah, because again, when you go into Revelation 17, that beast is talking about the Roman system. Right. And back then, when the Roman church actually started falling, which is the knees on down, the legs of the statue were the iron. That was the Roman Empire. Then it became the 10. Then it became the 10 toes, which the 10 toes. So the Roman Empire, during the time of the 10 toes back in the ancient days, is talking about when the church, when Rome started to split apart, when they started to become the Holy Roman Empire. That's when Rome started falling apart. That was the time of the 10 toes. Now we're in the 10 toes again, because this whole Roman system again is starting to break apart.
That's that Babylon.
The EU and the NATO.
Which is EU and the NATO, which is
America's part of NATO.
Which is the 10 horns on the 7 heads of the beast. Which that beast is the Roman Empire. Every system was that same system over and over and over.
That's why it was wounded in the book of Revelation. It was wounded, and now he's back.
But now he's healed.
And I believe it was the EU. The EU in the 50s. 58,
56, 54.
It was around there. They had the Treaty of Rome.
Yep. The Treaty.
How much more simple can it get?
Yep.
And then the NATO, they came 10 years prior to that.
Yeah, they came in 10 years prior to that, sometime in the 40s.
But
late 40s, after World War II. That's when they signed the treaty establishing it. You know, because it was more than 10 nations. Or it was select. It was
NATO was
It started off with 4 nations or 6 nations, and
Look
they
it up.
still had. Yeah, let me look it
I
up.
think it was
But they had the 10 flags outside because they separated some of the countries.
No. I'm thinking the EU. The EU is a lot. The EU originally was how many heads?
Is 10 heads.
10 heads. Originally, the EU started with 10 countries, but now it's
Yeah,
like 24 or something like that. I want to say.
Yeah. Well, now it's like 26, 28.
Yeah,
I can't remember one of them two, but
26,
either way, when you look at it, the British, because they put UK and Ireland separate, but they're the same They're the same land, just like Spain and Portugal. They're Spain, and then Portugal's just like a little turd hanging off of Spain.
Well,
like
that's why they named
like an appendix.
Dominican Republic and Haiti Hispaniola because same thing. It was the same island because Spain and Portugal was on the same island, but at one point they were together. That was one of the heads.
Yeah, that was one of the heads. Yeah, kind of. But nonetheless, that's the same time as that same time of Daniel with the 10 toes. We're reliving again through NATO and the EU and America, and because we're all running off that Roman system, which is that was the 10 toes. The Roman system was being broken apart, and that's what's happening now. And then what happened at the end of Daniel's vision with the 10 toes? That rock came. That rock came.
It overthrew the whole that stone.
Broke it down, and was that's why we know we're at the end.
Hey, and when that go back to Revelations, it said what? And one of the angels took up a stone,
like a great millstone.
And what did Yahweh say? He said, if one of you offend one of these little ones, it would better for you to be cast into the depths of the sea with a millstone
wrapped around thy neck.
So it was evident why the elders always say, look, man, this is a spirit they gave us that time, bro. So and then there's no evidence like
Great Millstone.
Great Millstone has the truth.
Man.
You know what I mean? Like everybody, Great Millstone, GMS has one. It's not about GMS. It's about the doctrine. It's about the spirit of Yahweh Shai that he had on using these men as being vessels. All right, and through them we understand, according to 1 Timothy the 6th chapter, let the elders that will well be counted double honors. All right, and when you go into the word worship, it really just means to give honor to, man. All right, because of what of his lot. All right, and that's what we were destined to do, to be inside of that order, man. All right, and this is the 8, and that's beautiful because that's Amos 9:11 being raised up. Because now you got elders and elders under them, man. Going up, then you got other elders. So if this place was to go on, which is fucking not 20, 30, 40 years old, what would that make us? Elders. You see what I'm saying? So, but the Lord had to shorten this time so that because no flesh would be saved. All right, and that goes back to Revelations 17 and 16. The beast just being overthrown by hating the whore, man.
Yep.
Everybody is coming up against America, man.
Yep.
You know, everybody's denouncing the dollar. The U.S. dollar is being ditched. Now you're having hyperinflation.
And when you look at back in history, when the Roman Empire actually started to break up like that, that's when a lot of these other nations started to attack the Roman Empire. Like, what were they called? What were those people called? Not the Vikings. They were coming up from.
Pilgrims?
No, it was during the time of the Roman Empire when they were falling apart. They were coming from like the northeast part of Europe. They're not. It's kind of like a tribe. It's like some tribes. There were some tribes. I can't remember the name off of it right now, but they actually started coming up against Rome because they started seeing that Rome was falling apart and they were breaking up and they weren't as strong as before. You know, so they started.
During the Byzantine Empire.
Yeah, I mean the early years of the Byzantine Empire, though, there was some like northern tribes that started coming up against, and I don't mean like southern, like the Israelite northern tribes. I mean the tribes that were in the north at that time, which
were the Israelites.
Yeah, which were Israelites.
Because the Israelites.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Over, so.
That's why what I'm saying is that's how we know we're also in the end times now today, because these other nations are now starting to see that the 10 toes, which is the NATO and EU, are breaking apart. So all these other nations are starting to come. They're starting to trying to take advantage.
Because Russia's not part of that.
Yeah, no.
Russia's part of Russia. Technically, if you want to be technical, Russia's part of the Esau system. Yeah, but he's not part of the 10 toes.
EU, he's not part of the EU.
Because Russia's gonna be one of the main ones to destroy America, you know.
Yep.
Even though all those toes, that's why it's breaking apart. Even though, because really it's all about America. At the end of the day, it's about Babylon the Great.
Yeah.
And Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed by all its enemies, which is going to be everybody. Really.
That's right. Yep.
Shit. Now that's that we veered off the topic, but
Yeah,
shit,
yeah,
you know.
no, it's just a spirit. You know, hey, through the spirit, we are in. This how you know we in the
Exactly.
in the
Yeah.
times.
The sign of the times.
Yeah, the signs of the times.
Shit. Did you finish that second Ezra 9 though?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Finish
I was
that.
stuck on 2. So let me get back to this. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 9, and verse 2. I'm gonna read it again. It says, "Then shall that." Well, let me start from the top. Might as well. 2nd Ezra chapter 9 verse 1, he answered me then and said, "Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made." Verse 2. Verse 3 now coming up. "Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and upwards of the people in the world," and that's what that's what we're going through.
Can I add? How long this yellow vest protest been going on out there?
Oh,
Almost half a year now.
hey, well now they got the church burning.
Yeah.
The Notre Dame church over there burning
You
up.
had that plan too earlier.
Yep, yeah,
Right,
yeah.
So
That's
how
over there.
That's go back to the uproars in a diverse in the play. Is that not the same
Matthew
thing?
24.
Hey,
You already
real
know what I was
quick.
gonna say.
This
You
is,
already know what I was gonna say.
this is the etymology of uproar, outbreak of disorder, revolt,
Against
commotion,
authority.
Mm.
Something
tumult, riot. A stirring up. The Lord's stirring things up, man.
Yeah,
Because the brother saying that yellow vest protest, that shit don't get too much media coverage, man. Because
No,
there's motherfuckers, bro, they burning shit down. That's not the first thing they get burned down.
People rioting
even
over there.
police, man. I remember the brother
Yeah, they get shot
Samakamal, the brother, police are rioting, man. Police are going into, whenever the riot breaks into a building and starts stealing shit, man. The brother Samakamal, Yahweh Allah, he sent me a video showing the police officer going in right after them and taking some shit. So shit is getting bad out there.
yeah, bro. And that's all. And every time we hear about that, the water.